All right. 3, 2, 1. Well, it's the Cocoa Tigers pregame show. 3, 2, 1. Well, it's the 7v7 Elite pregame show, and we're, of course, getting set to kick off here at Richard Dick Blake Stadium as the Cocoa Tigers get set to take on the Bowles Bulldogs. And I'm here with Athletic Director Mark Carstens. And, Coach, first of all, thanks for doing this. I appreciate this. And it's funny when we talked about doing this because after the first of the year, I was going to start a new segment called Get to Know Your AD. And I was going to try sometime between January and the end of the year to hit every school and talk to every AD. And I can't think of a better place to start than right here with you. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So let's first talk about the task at hand here before we talk about you a little bit. 15 straight years tonight. It's going to take place right here. The Bowles Bulldogs. It's for real. There'll be no running clock tonight. This is going to be a knockdown, drag-out football game here tonight. What are your thoughts, your impressions on all this?
Well, Bowles is a very good football team. Bowles is a very good football team, well coached, big, strong, got a really good running back. So it's going to be their strength against our defense, and then their defense is pretty well coached, but they got a lot to deal with.
Yeah,
with Dante, Jamarie, OJ, and Jamarie, and Davin. So they're going to have their hands full. I'd hate the game plan for that one.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And athletes at every level for the Cocoa Tigers. And by the time we've reached this point, we've broken it down every which way. But Sunday here, as I take a look around this stadium, before and after. So I want to go back to when you took over here. What's this, your fifth year here, fourth year here?
Fourth year.
Fourth year here. I want to go back to when you took over here and the changes that have occurred here. And you look at this football. And this was a football program. This is the 15th straight year that this team has reached this game. But yet still it feels like two different programs from then and now. The changes that you guys have implemented here, the press box, the field, everything that you guys have done here, in my opinion, has bettered a program that I think a lot of people didn't think could get any better.
Well, yeah, that was really the big thing I wanted to do and took over. Is sort of rebrand everything and really make this facility worthy of our accomplishments, not just in football, but in all the sports that we do well. So that is a huge priority for us. And actually, we're not done this year. We still have a couple projects that hopefully we're going to get done before the summer.
I think before we even talk about more sports, I think the thing that we need to discuss is what these student athletes at this school here have done academically, Coach. And I think that's the most impressive part of it all. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, Coach Snyder and my other coaches have really emphasized and focused on being a student first, athlete second. And, our GPAs for our student athletes are reflective of that. And actually the most thing I'm proud of is that those kids are really starting to buy in because they understand that if they not do that first, those other things don't come.
Yeah. This county particularly is loaded with stories of student athletes who had so much potential but didn't take studies as seriously as they could have. And they'll tell you, when you run into them, some of the alumni from a lot of the schools in the area, they will tell you the biggest mistake that they made was that they didn't take their studies serious enough. And I tell you, when I see the GPAs come out and I see the difference in the grade point averages and the character of the student athlete here as well, I think, unfortunately, the perception may be otherwise, but the character of Cocoa student athletes, Coach, is top-notch.
Yeah, we have some truly outstanding young men and women here. They do the work every day in the hall. They set a good example. They work hard. You see what sportsmen they are in the field.
Yeah.
Our softball team, baseball team, basketball, wrestling, volleyball, swimming, they're all great kids. And I'm just fortunate to be here with them and trying to do my part.
We know that the football program here at Cocoa is in every school, really. Football is always king. I don't care, especially in the state of Florida, Texas, California. That's just the way it goes. But you guys do some other things really, really well. here in other sports, and basketball and softball and swimming. And so take us through that a little bit in the art of being able to, as an athletic director, juggle multiple balls in multiple sports.
Yeah, that's hard, especially right now with football season going a little bit longer. And as you know, basketball, soccer, all that's in full swing. And you try to give as much support to everybody as you can when they need it or before they need it. Try to anticipate some things. But right now it's hard just because of all the stuff that's going on. But, our girls' soccer program, first time ever they went to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Right, Kamika.
So, those are the small victories that you got to appreciate, right? Is you got to keep the grind up and keep making sure they all just get better in everything that they do. And having those little conversations with coaches and players and teachers go a long way into trying to achieve those goals.
You look at some of the great coaches you have here. Of course, we mentioned Coach Snyder, but Coach Mitzi, Coach Fuzzy, Coach Patrick. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And I tell you, I thoroughly enjoy covering all sports. The coaches are fantastic here. What is the hardest part of your job at a school like Cocoa, where sports is so successful?
Yeah, well, it's like we said earlier, you got to keep them focused on the prize, and the prize isn't necessarily, playing sports at the college level, but getting an education. So when your sports time is over, you're going to be successful. That's the key. That's the lesson we try to teach them, is that, sports is a short-term goal, but life skills are the long-term goal.
You look back and you look at in just your tenure here, like a young man like a Richie Leonard. I was looking at a Facebook post he put up the other day, thanking administration and staff here still as he's up in Gainesville, which I think is a tremendous testament to what it is that you all do here. For you, do you miss coaching?
I do miss the chess matches.
Yeah.
During the game, but I don't miss those long grind practices and Sunday film and all that. That's rough. That's rough. But I do miss the in-game adjustments and the chess match with the other coaches. That was a lot of fun.
I think, we're talking about Cocoa. I want to take you back. We're here with Cocoa Tiger Athletic Director Mark Carstens. I want to take you back to your satellite days. I don't think a lot of people know that your offensive coordinator was Ted Kimmy.
Yep.
And, that when you left to become an athletic director, it was Ted Kimmy that took over. And, that you have a foundation and a base that you had planted there as well. How proud were you of the fact to see what that program has done?
Ted's done a tremendous job since I left. He's a really good coach. He loves the kids. I mean, I'm not sure that there's another coach that loves his kids as much as he does. So that was his draw to me, is how much he was committed to helping these kids grow. And I was always impressed with that, being a West Point guy and him trying to. I remember the phone call. He called me, and we were able to make it work. So, and I'm very proud to see that him and TJ are doing an outstanding job at Satellite.
Yeah, he told me that story last week. It's funny you say that, because he mentioned that, because I had asked him about that prior to, and he said he was sitting on the beach and he realized that there was a high school in the area, and he made the phone call to get on the staff.
Yep.
and you brought him aboard. So for you, obviously, since what year did you take over here?
2019.
So 2019. So what would a football state championship mean right now to this administration, to this coaching staff, to you?
Well, I want to, for me, it's about the kids. I mean, let's look what our kids have done this season in terms of the teams that they played, the grit. I guess that's what I'm the most impressed with this team is the grit. They're not scared of anything. They'll fight to the last second, and they know what they can do, and they're not shy. They live in the moment.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of the big moment. So for me, the state championship would reward that mentality,
right,
for them. So, and that's what I'm most hopeful for, is for them. For me as an old football guy, of course.
Right.
That would be awesome. But, it's not about me. And it'd be great for Mr. Wilson and our other admin staff who work tirelessly every day to support our kids and try to keep them on the right track.
What'd you think of that schedule when you saw it at the start of the season? Because I
remember
thought.
Texting you.
Yeah.
I remember texting you about that and going, holy cow.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Yeah, I said we're going to figure out, how, for me it was how we were going to respond to those situations on a week-to-week, and we responded better than you can ever predict.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a 1-point loss to what is currently the second-ranked team in the state of Florida. At one point, the first-ranked team in the state of Florida in Venice. Outside of that, it was a perfect season. And I don't care how you got there or how you played in those games. The record says you've lost once, and that's what it means. For you, I want to know a little bit about you. So, how did you get your start in coaching? And take us through that a little bit.
Well, I got out of the service, the Coast Guard, and wanted to go into teaching and coaching. And Mike Gotti and Dave Lowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones who gave me my first shot.
Dave Lowe.
Big double O Dave. Dave's a great guy. Great football coach. Great, one of the best human beings you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, Dave's a good guy, yeah.
Yes, so they let me coach JV as a volunteer, as an intern.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't looked back since.
Gotcha.
So, football was my thing, but, Mike taught me basketball. Love coaching basketball, coached some track too. So,
yeah.
Those were some good old days.
Mike Lowe, back on the airways every Friday, 4:30. I still do my football preview breakdown with Michael Lowe of 98.5 The Beach. Mike and Dave Lowe are just awesome individuals. As you look back over your career, and certainly there's much yet left to do, but what are some of your proudest accomplishments? But what sticks out in your mind?
For me, it's the kids I still keep in touch with.
Yeah.
That still take a moment to say hi and ask me how I'm doing, and ask them how they're doing, and seeing their kids and how they're growing up in the community and how they're giving back. I think to me the most important thing is that when you do these kind of things, you really don't see the end product for a long time.
Yeah.
So hopefully you plant those seeds and you see them grow. 5 or 10 years later. To me, that's my proudest moment.
I want to pick your brain here as we get set to wrap up with Mark Carstens here on the 7v7 Elite pregame show. Cocoa Tigers, Bowl Bulldogs coming up here. Audio cast tonight. Coach, you and I always talk about the business side of sports sometimes. We know that it exists. College football had name, image, and likeness recently incorporated. As you look at high school football in states like Florida and Texas and California, 10 streaming rights, things of that nature, all things that are going to be very, very prevalent in high school sports where do you see high school sports in 5 or maybe 10 years?
Well, I'm hoping a lot better than we are now here.
Yeah.
Especially in Florida and Brevard County. There has to be some sort of reciprocity. Our kids are doing whatever they can to do what they have to do, and our kids don't always get anything in return. So I think that really bothers me.
Yeah.
Is that our kids need something in our school as well.
Yeah.
For all schools, not just Cocoa High School, but all in general. So, each community is different, have different kinds of support. So I think there's got to be a better way that all these things, all these business decisions benefit the schools.
Yeah, I agree. I look at, and I don't think the way to get there is to charge the community more to do it. I just don't. But I do look at a situation that recently occurred and where you could have upgraded all of these weight rooms and got that done. That's an entirely different issue. But I want to ask you about this. Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? Maybe that's not a freight train for these coaches in this county. We've lost a lot of great ones and a lot of good sports. You see a light at the end of the tunnel where that ends, or is this going to be an ongoing battle for this pay?
Well, I know Dr. Amjad's really working hard to make those
he is.
Make those changes for us. I do see some change, and I think that's going to come from our business leaders and the community leadership to really put more of an emphasis on helping the schools out. I think that's where it's going to come from, because if we wait for other people to get involved, we're going to be waiting forever.
You're not kidding.
So you got to rally the troops in your community.
And we got some, and I'm winking at the camera right now, got some big second contracts coming up for some players that graduated from here. I'll say it. You don't have to. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Coach, thank you so much. First of all, let me just say this. From a personal perspective, thank you for all you've done for us, for me, at Brevard Sports Network. We really appreciate you, all of your coaches, all of your programs here, and the Cocoa Tigers. And, of course, tonight we are first and foremost Cocoa Tiger fans. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, we appreciate all you do for our kids. You really don't realize how much you do for the community, but I talk to people several times a week, and you are reliable.
Thank you.
You are, you know, your staff and you guys make a huge difference. You may not hear it all the time, but I do in the hallways, and especially from our family and our parents and our players. So we appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, and get set to enjoy some football coming up here on the Brevard Sports Network and AudioCast, but we're going to have some fun. Myself and Coach Derek Smith, we're going to bring it to you, new style radio, if you will. For Cocoa Athletic Director Mark Carstens, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network in the 7v7 Elite pregame show.
Go Tigers.